So now we're going to start on the product page itself, or product screen. So let's jump back into VS Code, and all I want open here is the product screen, which right now just says product. And we're going to bring in a few things here. Let's bring in our link from React Router DOM, and we're going to want to bring in some stuff from Bootstrap. So let's say import from React Bootstrap. And what we're going to want is a row, a column, image, list group, card, and button. Okay, and then we're also going to use our rating component here. So let's import rating from, and we want to go up one level into components and then rating. And of course we want to bring in our products, which right now is just in the JavaScript file. So import products from and dot slash products. Now we need to get a single product, and this is an array of products. So what I'll do is up at the top here, let's say const product. Again, this will be coming from the back end ultimately, but just for now I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to take products, take the array, and do a dot find, which is another high order array method. And let's say for each product, let's say where the product dot underscore ID is equal to the ID that's in the URL. So I'm talking about this right here, and the way that we can get that is through props.match. Okay, so we could pass in props here and then do props.match, but what I'm going to do is just destructure match, and if we do match, we can access dot params, and then we want to get the ID, because remember when we created the route here, we passed in an ID params. I could put anything I want here. I could put another, I could say test, and I could say match.params.test to access that. Okay, so that should find the correct product. In fact, let's just do a console log here of product. We don't even need to do a console log. We'll just go right here and say product.name. And there we go. So we get that name. If we go to the camera, good. So we know that we can get that single product. So let's start to build out this output. So I don't need a div. I'm just doing fragment here, and then let's put link. I just want to have a go back button. So I'm going to give this a class name of btn and btn-dark. So we could do it this way, or we could use an actual button and use the link container, but I'm just going to do it this way. It doesn't really matter. So let's do my-3, and this is just going to say go back, and then we need a 2 because it needs to know where to go, and it's just going to go back to the home screen. All right, so let's take a look at that. Actually, let's make that a light button. Okay, so that should take us back. Good. Now, underneath that, we're going to have a row. So we have our row, and let's do a column, and on medium screens and up, let's do 6. Yeah, so we'll do 6, and then 3, and then we're going to have another third column down here, which I'm not going to put in yet because that's going to be like the add to cart, stuff like that. I just want to do the product display now. So here let's put an image, uppercase I. So this is an image component from React Bootstrap. Takes in a source, which is going to be the product.image, and for the alt, let's say product.name. So if I save that and we take a look, we get the image, and that's all we want in that column. So in this one here, we're going to use a list group, and I'm going to give it a variant of flush, which takes away the spacing, or takes away the border. And in here we want some list group items, so we can do list group dot item. You can also bring in list group item like this, but I'm not sure the difference. I'm just using dot item. And this is going to be the product name, which I'm going to put in an H2. So let's say product dot name. Okay, and we should be able to see the name, which that doesn't look right. You know what? I don't want it to be that big. So let's make that an H3. Oh, you know what the issue is? The image is actually going out of its container. So to stop that from happening, we just want to pass in fluid, which makes it, yeah, so that will keep it inside of its container. All right, so underneath the title list group item, we're going to have another one. So list group dot item. And in here, we're going to have the rating. So we're going to use our rating component, which, remember, it takes in a value, and the value is going to be product dot rating, and then it can also take in text. So for text, I'm going to do some backticks here, and we want to do the product dot num reviews, and then outside of that, just do reviews. Okay, so if we take a look there, good. Now underneath that we'll have the price, and that's going to go in another list group item, or list group dot item. So let's we'll just say price colon, and then let's put a money sign here with product dot price, and then underneath that we're going to have the description. I'm just going to copy this down and say description, get rid of that. All right, let's see what that looks like. Okay. Now, actually, we are going to do this final column over here, but obviously we're not going to have the add to cart functionality or anything like that, but we will create it. So underneath this column, this final column here, let's do call and MD, it's going to be 3, and let's do a card. So we're going to wrap everything in a card with a list group and give this a variant of flush. And let's create a list group item. So in this list group item, I'm going to put a row, and I want a column, and this is going to be the label, which will be price, and then underneath that column we'll have another column, and inside here let's put some strong tags. And if you want to change up the look, you can. If there's some things you want to change, but this is going to be the product dot price. Let's just see what that looks like. Okay. So we have product price. Now under this list group item, I'm going to do kind of the same thing. So I'm going to just copy that down. And this is going to be the status. So label of status. And what we'll do here is open up an expression, and let's check to see if there's any in stock. So product dot count in stock, if that is greater than 0, then I want to show in stock, else I want to show out of stock. Okay, and then underneath that we'll have another list group item with the button. So this will be a button, and I'm going to give this a class name of btn block, so it's a block level element and it stretches all the way across, and it's going to be type of button, and it's going to say add to cart. We're going to have a quantity in here too, but we're not going to do that just yet. Good, so we have price, in stock, cool. Now let's also make it so that the button is disabled if it's not in stock. So this right here, let's go to this button and let's say disabled equals, and we'll say if product count in stock is equal to 0. And we'll test this out by going to our products.js file, and let's see, we're at the AirPods. I'm just going to set count in stock to 0 temporarily. Let's save. And now add to cart is disabled because it's out of stock. If I set that back to 3, now it's not. So I think that that's good for now. Like I said, we're going to have a quantity and all that, but we'll get to that after we start to work on our cart, on the cart itself. What I want to do in the next video, though, is start to work on our back end. I want to at least create a simple Express server that will serve the products from the back end as opposed to just this JavaScript file in the front end. Okay, we'll move the JavaScript file to the back end, serve it, and then later on, of course, it will come from a database. All right, so we'll get into that next.